Hey YouTube, got a little serious thing I'm gonna talk about for a minute. So this guy in LA who has been presented as a major donor to Democratic candidates, right? Now I don't know why they chose to. You have to be careful of spin because they're saying that this is a wealthy man. Apparently he's given $500,000 to the Democratic Party, various candidates since 2000. But they're describing him as a wealthy man. I don't know how he can be wealthy living in that dive. It's not a dive. It's a regular, standard LA apartment. I don't know why a wealthy man will be living in that apartment building. I used to live in Los Angeles. In fact, there's several parallels. I used to live in Los Angeles. I was a crystal meth addict in Los Angeles. I used to trick or date, whatever words you want to use, in Los Angeles. So there are many parallels. I was hooked to crystal meth for 17 years. But this dude, if it happened one time, you would say, well, maybe Ed has got a little kink thing going where he's getting high and somebody OD'd. That happened 18 months ago with the 27-year-old. That guy's name was Jamal Moore. So Jamal Moore died, and now another guy has died. This guy is a black guy. I don't know what difference his age makes, really. But he's also died of a drug overdose in this man's house. So I don't know who is Ed. I mean, who is this dude? Is he a drug addict himself? I think that is, well, to most people, it wouldn't be significant whether he's a drug addict to himself or not. But for me, the next drug addict, I think is significant. Is this a man who obviously he likes black guys, no particular age. One is 26, the other one is in his 50s. Obviously, he likes them to do drugs because when the first guy was discovered, they discovered him with pipes and syringes, paraphernalia, and crystal-like substance all around him. This dude the young guy, it said he was an escort, so he was hustling. He said that this guy, Ed Buck, turned him on to crystal meth. He was the first one who shot him up with crystal meth. Signed him up or introduced him to shooting up crystal meth. Right? So my curiosity, is this guy a drug addict himself and there have been ODs in his house? Or is he picking up people and in order to have the kind of sex he wants to have with them, allowing them to do drugs or giving them drugs or providing them with drugs? I don't know. I know there are many, many witnesses. If he likes hustlers, if he picks up hustlers on a regular basis, if he's into drug addicts, then obviously there's going to be, these two are not the only ones. There are many people who out there who know the routine. So I would invite you guys, if you know the story of how about Ed Buck, what his kink is, what he's doing, come forward so he can be properly investigated. See, I think there's a big difference between somebody who's getting high themselves and someone who is drugging other people or allowing them to do drugs or inviting them to do drugs in their house, perhaps even buying the drugs. See, drugs make you act a certain way, right? So now, maybe it's rare, but do remember from my hustler days, there are people who want you to be high. They don't have to be high. They want to be in control and you be high. That is much more offensive to me than the alternative, which is they were getting high together. So we don't know much about Ed Buck. They keep talking about how much money he gave to the Democratic Party. I don't think that would be the primary thing. You would think that they would first say what he does for a living, who he is, as opposed to how much money he gave to the Democrats. So they politicize it, even something like this. This man, at the minimum, should be investigated. Now, one time, it's a tragedy. But for the same thing to happen again, and also, crystal meth is the kind of drug, you have to be doing massive doses of crystal meth to OD. In the 17 years I used crystal, I can imagine anyone being more into it than I was. I never saw anybody die. I've seen people get so zonked in their mind that you would think that they could collapse. But I never saw anybody die. So I'm kind of curious now. Are these people shooting up barbiturates also? Are they shooting up heroin there? Why would you have people in your house? Because the first guy they found right in the living room. I don't know why a normal person who is clear in their head, who is not high themselves, would have all this going on in their presence. I think it's worth investigating so that no one else gets hurt. What is Ed Buck? I wouldn't mind knowing what he does, who he is. Is he an addict himself? Is he providing drugs for these people? Are the drugs poison? The drugs that they're giving them, are they? It was just bad dope. We don't know anything about it. We don't even know the latest guy's name. But we know they both died in Ed Buck's apartment. Why they're painting him as this wealthy white man, I don't know. It must be political reasons. Because that place where he's living, is he supposed to be is he supposed to be a millionaire? I don't see it. But I hope there's enough an outcry there in LA, to at least investigate exactly what happened here. Will other people be endangered? There was a guy in Indiana, I remember. A story I remember. This dude he was a serial killer, but he wasn't trying to kill people. His thing was he liked to strangle people to the edge of when they're going to pass out, and that's when it makes the ejaculation more powerful on him and on them. And he started having all of these accidents, he called them. Instead of calling the police, instead of stopping doing the drugs, stopping doing what he was doing, he buried people all over his land. Accidents, he called them. I'd like to know what the situation is with Ed Buck. Who is he? What is he doing? Is he drugging people? Is he an addict himself? Are the accidents, is the dope no good? Should have answers at the very least. And there's no way that people always make the same comparison. Well, if it was a white man, if it was a black man that did this, you know. But it's the truth. It is the truth. Would a black guy walk away from the situation if 2 people died in his house in 18 months and there was no investigation at all? That doesn't make any sense at all. Even if they tripped down the stairs, if there was 2 of them that happened in the exact same place in 18 months, you would still be investigated. People who murder their wives, many times they find is not the first one. And when they make connection that has happened before, that's how they get them. Lightning doesn't strike twice. Same place. Anyway, I'll be following the story as best I can. Bless you, family. Sorry it's happened. All right. Jesus. Oh, Jesus Christ. Y'all got all that on film.